Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our spectacular call this evening for the Power of Six. I get so energized every time I hear that song that you just heard because it really speaks to us, who are really out there trying to reach some dreams and goals. And, it's very, very enlightening to hear those words again. But my name is Verdita Monk. For those of you who may be on this call for the first time, I'm a senior leader in LifeWave and very, very excited, along with my husband, to just spread the word about what's going on with LifeWave. And what we do, particularly on this call every Wednesday night, if we can, is we get together, we share ideas that will elevate your experience, your elevate your mindset. And mainly that's what we do here. And I try to think of things that I want to hear about. If someone was coaching me, I think about what would I want to hear about, and that's also hopefully the way you think. And everybody that's on this call, obviously we are like-minded, or you probably wouldn't even be on this call. So I'm really excited to have you on the call tonight. And we're going to be talking about a subject that I think is pretty important. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that we can get to the PowerPoint. And tonight, you guys, we're going to be talking about a subject called the power of non-negotiation. Let me just put the definition that I Googled for non-negotiation. That is, a non-negotiable item is a standard, a requirement, or demand that is absolutely fixed and cannot be changed, debated, or compromised. You see, the industry that we're in, which is network marketing, is a very, very exciting industry. It's a very, very important industry because it literally has changed many people's lives. But most people don't realize it and take it as seriously as they should. Many people look at it as something that they just do on the side, and that's fine. But it depends on what your goals are. If your goal is many people get in network marketing is because they feel like they're able to follow their dreams and do things that they were not able to do with their ordinary careers or their ordinary lifestyle. And so some people have literally been able to experience that mindset, that take advantage of that and experience that, because like network marketing literally can do that for you. But there are certain things that are non-negotiable if you want to achieve that. So the first thing you got to do, because if you don't have a dream, you never, and remember, I'm not talking about the average person right here. I'm talking about people who really want to achieve big things in this company. So you have to have a big dream. The dreaming big opens up your mind to what's possible, helping you see opportunities you might otherwise overlook. It shifts your focus to the big picture and the actions needed to get there. Sometimes there's things in front of us and or opportunities in front of us, and we just say, well, I can't do that, or that'll never happen for me. But if you don't dream big and have the dream that's so big that you are willing to do what it takes to reach that goal, then you see opportunities that might help you achieve those goals. And so I know that's my personal experience. And so one of the things that I want to talk about, some people think that it's so difficult to dream. It doesn't cost you anything to dream except for your imagination, and that's free. So I like to put it this way: dream big, because small dreams don't even have magic. And it doesn't cost you anything. I personally, my husband and I have experienced some things in the last few months that how as you go along in life, you think you can't do certain things or achieve certain things. And then all of a sudden you realize it just happened. And it was all along you were dreaming this in your subconscious, but you do have to plan it. Okay, so now move on to the next slide. I hate the way these PowerPoints get stuck. Okay, now, so how are we going to get there? Because if you have a dream, you want to know how you're going to get there. And so many people feel it is so difficult. And I'm not trying to say network marketing is easy, but it is so simple, y'all. And I just want to pour into you from my experience, how simple it really can be, but so many people make it difficult. So you got to follow the system. You all guys, we have a system that is right in front of us. But even though that system is there and you can dream all you want, but you have to go to work. You have to. You see, your dreams and your goals overlap. If you see right there in the middle, if you have a goal, if you want to achieve X, Y, Z, let's say you want a new house and you have this dream, you put it on the wall, you put it everywhere. But guess what? And in the end goal is to achieve XYZ, and this is how I'm going to get there. But where the overlapping part is, in order to achieve it, achieving XYZ would provide self-fulfillment and a sense of purpose. So this is the end result, but you have to establish some type of goal to even get to XYZ. Same thing with any other idea that you may have. Okay, so you must take action and set some goals. So we're going to talk about some of the activities, some of the action items that you can do to reach your goals. And I know I've talked about this probably many, many times, even recently, but this is so important that I really, really want you to get it, because some of you on this call, I see some names of some people on the call that I've spoken to recently. It is so important when you get started. If you're not launching the business for the people you're bringing on, you are doing them a disservice. Because, see, first of all, their names that are on the list of people they know, their family, their friends, their co-workers, their neighbors, their church members, of people that they know, maybe service them, insurance agent, whatever. That's their inventory. That is what you're trying to get you're trying to get access to. So sometimes the person who you personally enroll may not even be the big, the person who's putting the most effort in. They may lead you. They have a saying called a dud will lead you to a stud. They may be the dud, but they may lead you to a stud. I know a dud right now that's making all kinds of money because he's overriding a bunch of people. In my opinion, he's a dud. But he's overriding a lot of people because he got to the people. You see, you got to get to the right people, but you don't limit yourself to 10. I was speaking to somebody else the other day, and they were talking about how excited they were and all this, and they've been in the business for a minute, but they only had 10 people on their names on their list. You won't get to it's just like it's a game of sorting. Anybody who's ever done sales before, and I'm not saying this is sales, but it's a numbers game, you guys. So when you make that list, don't discriminate. I see a lady on the call. I don't want to call her name out, but I talked to her the other night. She lives in Houston, I will say that. And she's a accomplished retired physician. And you can imagine the kinds of people that she knows and the kind of influence and credibility that she has with people. But she wasn't not necessarily thinking that the people that are on her level would be interested in this. I said, are you kidding me? They have so much, they are looking at you as an expert, especially if you tell them about stem cell technology, they're gonna listen. They're gonna listen because they want to know what am I missing out on? Don't ever dismiss anyone. Don't discriminate, because remember, some will be customers and some will be brand partners. We have a whole PowerPoint on our customer premium bonus, which is huge. And I really want to reiterate that I have asked and all of us to try to make an effort of generating about 1,000 personal volume. How do you do that? Let me keep going, because and I want to say this, strike it while it's hot. When those people get signed up, don't wait till they've been in the business 2 to 3 weeks. Not saying that they won't do a launch call, but that's not necessary because they don't need to know anything. All they need to do is know the people that they know. They need to know their friends and relatives. You know everything, or your upline knows everything, or most things about the business. They don't need to know anything. That's the reason they got you on the call, because they don't know anything. So we say success loves speed. See, when you first get started, go ahead and just write a list, as many as you can. You may not have 100 right now, but at least get 20 people on your list to reach out to them and get them on your first launch call. Because guess what? Only about 7 to 10 of them are going to actually show up anyway. If you call 20 people, it's always some reason that they cannot get on the call, whether they got something else going on, whether they forget. I know sometimes I forget. but it's very important for them to schedule their first call within 48 to 72 hours. It's just like this. I'm trying to think of something that happened to me the other day. Something I saw, it was a sale or something somewhere, and I called my daughter and I said, "Did you realize that such and such a place has a big sale going on right now?" I didn't have to wait, whole 2 or 3 days to call her. When you know people well enough and you have something they might want, you just pick the phone and call them. It's not a big deal. You don't have to word it a certain kind of way. And what you want to do, if you can get that person to say, let's do this 3 times, 2 or 3 days apart, try to get them to do 3 calls like that within 10 to 12 days. And if you repeat this process for the next, so in other words, I just talked about it, do it 2 more times within the next 2 to 3 days apart. And then what you want to do is reduplicate this and let them know that, the people that get on that call, let them know you're going to call them back either that evening or the next day, and get a time, call them right after the call and say, listen, I'm going to be reaching out to you right after this call because I want to set a time for us to talk about what you just saw. And if they say, well, I'm not really interested, that's okay if you're not interested, but do you mind, can I call you and talk to you 5 or 10 minutes because there's something else I want to say to you. If you have relevant relationships with people, don't let them say no. They don't know what they're saying no to. They have no idea how significant this technology, our company, everything is. So let them know that you're going to call them. Okay, so I'm reading this part real fast, but I do want you to know that you need to make sure that every single person you enroll, that you set up 3 launch calls. Stop waiting a whole week to do this. That does not create momentum. Remember, success, love, speed. Another thing you got to do, if you want, that is non-negotiable in this industry, you got to stay close to the energy. See, the energy is in the room at the events, whether it's a local event like the one we're going to be having, up at the Hampton Inn in a couple weeks or whatever. Plugging into calls like this or opportunity calls, that's staying close to the energy. When you get to go to these incentive trips, and oh my God, the top people in the company are on those incentive trips because they're the ones that worked really hard to get there. You're close to the energy. I still feel the energy from when we went to Honolulu. So that is non-negotiable, that in this business you have to plug into events. You have to. Okay. So what else is non-negotiable? And I got the word covered up, but you need to maintain a 2-sleeve authorship. Because I don't care whether you're married or not, everybody needs to be on the X39. And if you're not married, you still need an X39 so that you can sample out to people. You can apply the patch to people. If you don't have the X39, what are you going to do? So guess what that means? $200 a month. But if you go ahead and get those customers in place, when you first get started on those calls, that $199 is not going to mean anything to you because it's going to be covered with just 10 customers is going to cover that. You're going to get that. So another thing that's important is non-negotiable. You got to surround yourself with like-minded people. Sometimes I just pick the phone up because now we're not always around each other. Sometimes I just pick the phone up and just start calling people on the team because I know they're like-minded. I know certain people I pick up, they're going to get me energized. But the people that when you talk to, they're not saying anything about anything they're doing is productive or anything like that. That's really not motivating. I'm just telling you what you got to do to be successful. And last but not least, you got to believe. See, we have look at the universe has so many possibilities, but you got to believe that there are so many possibilities at LifeWave. Why? Because we got David Schmidt, number one. This man is a genius. How many geniuses? This man is a living genius. He said at the convention last year in October, and I'm trying to remember exact words that he said, but it was something like this. Some gentleman that's in a movie or helped or did something with one of the movies we have or some document or something that we have. He says, I finally met someone that might be smarter than me. He had the audacity to say that. For somebody to say that, guess what that means? He knew he could come up with the code to crack the code to the X39. He knew that. See, that's what we got. David Schmidt. We got the Biotech Breakthrough Award out of 15,000 nominations. Okay. That we got a patent that makes no one have access to the marketability or the patent. It's, how to develop this patent. No one can do that because we got the patent. We're number one in momentum again. I think we skipped last year, but this year again, this will be the third year that we've been number one in momentum according to Business for Home. And then we've got the greatest of all time when it comes to Steve and Gina Mary. I'm telling you, this couple pours into us. They work so hard. I was around them in Hawaii. I don't see how they do. I don't see how they do what they do, but they work so hard and they really care. They don't even have to work this hard, but they do. So you guys, I don't want to end the call without talking about, I cannot express to you how amazing this water machine. Harvey and I finally got ours yesterday, and we didn't get to put it up until today because it came late in the evening and there was a lot going on yesterday evening. We want to take our time. And it wasn't until about 3 o'clock in the afternoon when we finally got our first glass. I would tell you I'm gonna tell you the truth. Harvey's like a little bunny rabbit running all over every 5 minutes he's coming up to me saying something. It just gives you energy. It just makes you makes you happy. It makes you focus. But this is what I really want to say. I hope some of you were on the call that David Schmidt did yesterday. The call, it was around 2 p.m. Eastern. And what they were saying, we have had some hits from the FCC or FTC or whatever the organization is about being compliant, right? And because we use the term stem cell reactivation, and because this is not a drug, they're saying we can't say that. Because we're not a drug, we can't say that this patch reactivates stem cells. However, when we combine it with the Celergize, and I'm not saying that you have to use the Celergize, but this is what they said. And somebody, Santa Thompson is probably on this call, and if she is, I'm going to unmute her because she knows this stuff better than me. I know she was on the call. And there you go. I don't know which one you're on, Santa, because y'all are on two different lines again. I'm gonna make her a co-host just in case she want to jump in. But what I took away was that they were saying because we have Celergize. Celergize has everything you need from a nutritional standpoint to supplement the X39. When you put those two together, it gives us the ability to say that this system reactivates our stem cells. You see there? And so there's going to be a little bit more discussion. There's a PowerPoint coming out on it. But you guys, the water machine is no joke. It is no joke. And we had an exciting call last week about the testimonies that people had on the, with the water machine. So, I don't know. I don't know who else would like to say something because I got everybody muted, but let me keep going for now. Oh, I wanted to ask Linda Giles if she's available to share because we were talking a little earlier. Linda, are you available to discuss what we talked a little earlier? I don't know if she's able to or not. Okay, she may not be available to do that, but she is on the call. And what we were talking about was that, when you get this water machine, there's a warranty on it. And that warranty needs to be in your name, not in somebody who's on your team's name. Like if you have someone you personally roll, some people say, well, let me just sign it up under that person so I'll get the $1,000. Well, if everybody did that, then, if we need to elevate the whole team. Number one, you have to have the warranty in your name in case something goes wrong with it, okay? You're not supposed to be moving it around. Also, it's just an ethical issue. So please, if let's just play team. And if you ordered, my husband and I, we ordered the water machine under our ID number. So guess what? Our sponsor got that $1,000 plus all those other points, okay? So the other thing I want to talk about, we're talking about events. We got one coming up in Portland on Friday and Saturday. I reached out to one of our team members in Portland. I said, you got to be there. She said she's going to try to get several people on her team to go with her. And so, Danny and Diane McDaniel, they're powerhouses. I mean, they got all these SPDs under them. And this couple right here, this lady got a mansion in Maui. She took a whole group of people, about 50 people that qualified to go to Hawaii to her mansion. I'm not very familiar with this couple, I'm gonna be honest with you, but they're gonna be there as well. And it's a free event because it's at a church. Then also we got Oklahoma City. If you know anyone in Oklahoma City, June 17th, it will be at the Hilton Garden Inn. Stephen Gina Merritt will be there. And then in Dallas, there's a event there in Dallas, June 18th. And it's gonna be $25. It's because it is a business building seminar. And that's the one that everybody's going to, Embassy Suites at the Hilton by DFW Airport. And then, of course, Houston. Harvey and I have made a commitment to go to Houston. That's going to be June 20th. You see Z Kendrick on here. You see Chris Oliver and some of the other leaders that are in Houston are going to be Carrie Robertson, her husband, Brittany, and her husband, I forget what his first name is, Brittany. Anyway, Stephen Gina Merritt, to say that not at least, last but not least, Monique Dotson is going to be there. Jessica Scott is going to be, some of the leaders on our team are going to be there. And so we're going to do something special for our team when we get there as well. But don't forget, some people just won't be able to make it. They just won't be able to make it, but there are virtual tickets available on Unstoppable, which is in August, for those of you who cannot make it, but you want to make sure that you plug in and get your team members plugged into that. So with that being the case, I'm going to try to unmute. I'm just going to push this button. It's going to allow everybody, if you want to unmute yourself, feel free to do it. If you want to make a comment, if you want to ask a question about anything I said, I know I moved pretty quickly. Anybody want to share anything before we end the call?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Who is that? Who is yes?
Press Estrada.
Oh, hey, you know what? Let me take this pen off of me because I can't see let me take the pen away. How are you doing, Professor?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Awesome. Thank you for an awesome call, and really just a refresher and a reminder of that we need to make sure we stay focused on the right things. But I do want to make sure that we send out a reminder about the convention coming up. We want everyone to make sure that they I think those who are on payments, that final payment I believe went out here recently. So make sure you guys are getting prepared. Check those airlines because some of the flights are being delayed already. There's some things happening with the airline, but just want to remind people to get that flight booked. If you have any extra tickets from cancellations, sometimes emergencies happen. Definitely make sure you're reaching out to leadership to see, because we got a lot of new people that can fill in those tickets. If anyone has any vacant tickets,
Yes.
definitely make sure we reach up line and let Regina Monk and Harvey Monk know so we can try to get those replaced with other people who want to be involved. So again, be at the convention. Love all these events that's leading up to the convention, but definitely make sure you guys plug in and make sure you don't miss these major events. Remember, to convention and major events, they take life wave out of you and put how do they say it, Bridget? They say they take you out of life wave and they put a life wave inside of you.
Yes.
So
Put
it's
it in
it's
your
more
heart.
core. It's like it's one thing to see us, and I tell a lot of people there's just one thing to go to an area meeting or a regional meeting, and things like that. You may see a couple hundred people there and feel the energy and the excitement, but it is no comparison to you go to when you go to a convention. It's just no comparison. It's like trying to look at the Super Bowl from a smartphone. You got to be there. You got to be there. So
Absolutely.
just want to
That's
remind people to make sure we're promoting these events every opportunity, even when we're sitting down and having, if you guys are having meetings in-home meetings and things like that, promote these
promoted.
events, promote these local events. People have people to live, in different parts of the country. So definitely make sure we promote. That's it. That's one. I'll make sure we talk about that, and I'll pass it back over to you.
Well, that's a good point. And I want to say this. Many of you all know that, Jules Strother's son, he's the one that had the accident, critical accident last March, I believe it was. But he is still doing this business, though. I mean,
He'll be there.
not only is Jewel and his son, both his sons, but his son made a point. He got his ticket. to Orlando. And once he did that, things started happening. He already signed up and advanced in Orlando. One of his classmates from college, they're gonna be coming. So when you make some decisions, things start happening. But he could have easily said, you know what, things are rough right now because he had this critical accident that is life changing for him. But he will be there. He will be there, and he's not making excuses. He'll have me do 3 ways with him and everything. I'm really proud of Dakari, and I believe he's going to go far in this business. And it's all because of your leadership too, Jewel, encouraging him and to stand up and be a man. So want to make sure we acknowledge that. Thank you for your comments as well. Anybody else want to share anything to inspire us this evening? All right, but listen, I'm ready to go watch the Oklahoma City. What's the name of the Oklahoma City is playing the Spurs. Y'all, I'm a basketball fan. The playoffs are going, so many of you may feel the same way. But listen, we will this.
Perdita,
Oh, hey, Tanya,
I hope you're not. I'm good. Not a comment. I just the power call last week was so good, and I've just been looking for the video. Did you put it out?
I sure did right after the call was over, but I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
And
you so
thank
much.
you for so much for all you do, Tanya, up there in Chicago.
Thank you for your leadership because you're the anchor.
All
You
right. Well,
pour out, and we get to see your hard work, and we see the fruit of it. So it's inspiring just to have leadership like you that is not so you're up there, but you're not out of reach, and that's such a blessing. Thank you.
well, we're in this thing together, you guys. We cannot do it by ourselves. We cannot do it by ourselves. And thank you so much. But listen, you guys, thank you all. You all have a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. And some of those people that you run into, just be prepared. Everywhere I go, sometimes I say, I don't know if I need to worry about taking these patches with me. And I'll be so glad that I did take them with me because I always end up, and I tell Harvey, see, I needed these patches. So I always have them with me. Take your patches with you wherever you go. Listen, y'all have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see y'all at the top. I'll send the recording out. Good evening.